This is the long-awaited Christmas home tour video. I think this might be my favorite video of the year. It is a ton of work, but I love doing the Christmas home tour. I'm just excited to have you into my house and seeing what I came up with this year. And I will have you know that I purged half of my Christmas decorations. I used to have 9 bins, now I have 4.5 bins full of decorations. I gave a bunch of it to my kids so they can decorate with in their own spaces. But in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be such a minimalistic Christmas home tour. And I am not a minimalist Christmas decorator. Apparently I'm a maximalist, even with 4.5 bins. So I don't know if I should feel bad about this or if I should just celebrate the season and show you all the stuff we came up with not very many decorations, I feel like. Now, granted, those bins did not include trees, it did not include a sled, things that I can't put in the bins. Anyway, okay, I'll stop talking, let's get going. I thought we should start on the porch because I think that's a great place to start just every season. I like to start on the porch. And I don't know if you remember, but last spring, I have a big, used to be a china cabinet, and I use it for kind of my potting cabinet, my garden center area. And I had that actually in front of the window, which made the bathroom a little bit darker than I wanted it to be, but sometimes things aren't the perfect solution when you're working on decorating. So anyway, that has been put out into storage in our shop. And I know you can't tell right now, but it's pretty cold out right now, and I really want to paint that door. The puppy has been scratching it really bad. And then the frame, like, we never quite got it finished because this whole porch is still supposed to come off and get redone. So it's like this in-between stage with the door frame. And so I was gonna paint it, and Colby said, no, it's too cold, it won't dry. Too cold, and it's like really damp in the air. So I'm just not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it later. But just so you know, like, as we're looking at this porch, I want you to picture that door done with me. And then, okay, this is what I do with decorating a porch. I start with the big pieces first. So first of all, I clear everything off. My porches get cleaned 4 times a year. Sweep the cobwebs and sweep everything down. I wash the windows. I do all of those every time the seasons change over. And then I need to think about seating or like big pieces of furniture. And once I get that nailed down, then it's pretty easy from there. I just add like smaller supporting pieces of furniture, a few decorations, kind of staggered around, some on the wall, some on the ground. And I like to bring in greenery and some blankets and pillows, and that's like the bulk of it. Okay, so that was lower. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Tell me what you think. I had that down on the sidewalk next to this one right here. So they were symmetrical. And then I put that one up higher. So I don't know. I mean, it's okay. I'm interested to know what you think of the like different heights that are going on there. Okay, so let's pick out the furniture. We'll put that up next. Now, I went through a lot of different pieces of furniture. I've never actually used that little wicker bench on my porch. So I just really loved the colors, how they played with my IKEA chairs here. These are actual wicker, and that first little love seat that you saw me put up there, that is actually plastic. I got it at home, and it is such a great little piece because it's so weather resistant. So I like the two together. And then I'll put a accent table between those two chairs next. Okay, so I had thrifted this fabric. Gosh, isn't it great fabric? It feels like wool. It's not, but I had thrifted this fabric and then turned it into throw pillows. And I just really love how they feel really classic and Victorian. And so I love how the grays are repeated in the chair and the pillows. And then let's turn it around. We'll do some blankets on the armchairs. I have this fur blanket. Oh, it's so warm. I bet the dogs will love this. I got this on Amazon. It's in cozy, very Victorian looking. And then this is a wool blanket that I thrifted. I love lace on wool blankets because it's this juxtaposition that I think is really cool with the sort of the masculine and the feminine together. Sweet little lace. This particular blanket is super special to me because I stitched this lace on while I was watching my mom when she had dementia before she died. For a long time I would bring this blanket with me and the lace, and I would just tiny stitches added this onto the blanket, and it just kind of kept me sane through that time. Keeping your hands busy and doing something beautiful and creative can get you through sad times. Now, we definitely need something on the door. I tried several different things and it wasn't practical. I had that big boxwood wreath I had on the door, and the door opens and it can't even open the full swing because we have our like microwave kind of squished into that corner in the kitchen. It's not ideal. It's technically not right. According to interior design, you want 36 inches to be able for all your pathways, and I don't have it in there. But sometimes things are not perfect and it's a temporary solution. So the door doesn't open all the way, already hard to get through. Then I added this big bulky wreath and I just thought, my husband is gonna hate this. It's not gonna be worth it, I know. So I made this because I do want something on the door. This is just cedar boughs off a cedar tree from our yard. I had these little bells. I really think it's fun to put bells on your door. Just that little jingle every time somebody walks in. It's such a festive thing to do. And then I added some of my favorite velvet ribbon from May Arts, my favorite velvet source, for a ribbon source, actually, all kinds of ribbons. And then this is just enough. When I first made it the other night and I tried it out, Colby walked through the door and he goes, oh my gosh, we have the coziest little Christmas house. And that was, I think, what triggered that comment. So I think it's gonna be okay. I think he likes it. Okay, another thing. This, isn't it cute? The North Pole post. Okay, we need a spot for this. And then I printed off a fake but very convincing looking old postcard that we'll stick in there. Okay, and then last but not least, let's put something on that table. I'm just gonna mimic the cedar that I have on the door, so I put down some branches, kind of making a little arch on our table. And then because my porch lights are, they look like lanterns, I'm gonna put a lantern on here. The last steps that you do when you're decorating, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. At that point, you have such a good, like a pattern going in the area that you just need to start looking back at what you've done and just repeat those pieces as you finish up. So it was kind of a no-brainer to put cedar down because we have cedar on the door, and then a lantern on here because our porch light right there looks like a lantern. the storm going on behind the woman who is trying to decorate for Christmas. Colby said, I can't find a place to lay down. I can't find a place to cook in the kitchen. I can't find a spot on the couch because I have everything torn apart right now and I'm trying to rebuild it all. So this is actually the time of year where I think it's so important to delegate. And there's a lot of ways you can delegate. One of the ways that I'm finding is so helpful is getting subscription boxes and to help me with my meals this time of year. Wild Grain is a subscription box. They have sourdough breads, they have artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. We tried the apple cider donuts and these great big chocolate chip cookies, and we use those for a Christmas party that we had coming up. Then for Thanksgiving, I pulled out croissants and cranberry pecan rolls, and that helped fill a void in what I was bringing to Thanksgiving. And then we are gonna try the fresh pasta and the sourdough bread tonight. I get going this time of year especially, and I'm trying to get through a project or get, my schedule's just off. And then I realize, oh my gosh, I needed to start dinner an hour ago or 2 hours ago. And my temptation is to go out to eat, which is super expensive. And so having things like this in the freezer that you just open the freezer and you go, okay, sourdough bread. And it's like your inspiration piece. And you get it in the oven, it goes straight in the oven, you have to defrost it. And from there, I feel like it's just enough boost where I can figure out, okay, so maybe I could make grilled cheese sandwiches with this, and maybe I could do tomato soup or something in it. I feel like having that little bit of support is so helpful this time of year. They also have vegan and gluten-free boxes available now. So I think actually there are some people that would really love that as a gift idea to ship out to someone that's really hard to shop for, but they need to eat a certain way and they would love the best baked treats out there. Go to wildgrain.com/sheholdsdearly and use my promo code sheholdsdearly. That will get you $30 off your first box, and you can cancel anytime. Plus, it will get you a free item with every order. All right, let's get back to this house. One of the things that I'm trying to do this year is do a lot more with the lights and actually go, around the trunk and on all the, wrap around each of the branches, not just do a big swag spiraling down. And, I did not check these lights. I think they work. I think these are new. I bought these last year. Yeah, I think these are the ones I bought last year. So let's hope they work. Also, I'm running out of lights. I can feel that. So I'll probably have to go run to the store in the middle of this. But that is a pro tip, to actually run the lights, really work them into each of the branches. And I mean, people will use 1,200 lights. I don't have that many here, but you could, and it would look amazing. I really get why people like the trees that come with the lights. As long as the lights work, it would be easier. But I feel like I've been burned too many times by trees that the lights don't work. It is a lot of effort to restring them. Yep, I just ran out. So Colby's running to Home Depot. Oh, let me show you. I'm gonna show you the one that I recommend. I think I'm only ending up with like 350 lights on this tree. So I don't know where people are getting 1,200. They might have smaller lights, they might have bigger trees. Okay, let me show you the kind that I recommend. This is the one that I feel like looks the most like incandescent. The C6 LED lights. For my star, I got 2 of these stars. They're at the Dollar Tree, or they used to be. And I am wrapping them together with fishing twine, but leaving the bottom open. And then my thought is that I'll have this little opening and I can just drop it on top of the tree. I just had a thought. What if I leave these lights on and store them like this? Well, we are at 850 lights on this tree. And so now I can see, yeah, if this were a bigger tree, if it were fuller, if I had actually wrapped the trunk the way I thought I was going to, but it was a little more difficult than I thought. So I want to show you a tip too. I take my lights with the plug-in part and I start that at the center of my ball of lights. This is how I store them. This is how I unravel them when I'm putting them on the tree. So the plug is inside the roll, and then I start with this end. Where is it? This end. It works out that I end at the very end with a plug that goes in the wall. I am alternating the garland. I have pom-pom trim. I also have some tassel trim from my drapes that I could use. But I'm gonna do pom-pom trim, and then I'm going to do this mercury glass beaded garland. I showed you how to do that in the last video. So as I'm decorating, I'm starting to think that there's too many lights on this tree. Not that necessarily there's too many, but that for the old world look I'm going for, I'm not believable. So I'm rethinking the lights. Once I do get lights up though, that's when I move on to the ornaments and clip-on candles. I love these candles. This is one of my very favorite Christmas decorations ever. And they have a remote. They are adjustable, so you can adjust them on the clip. And so they're always straight up and down. I love that feature. And they're covered with wax, so they actually feel like a wax candle. I decided to change out my art. I actually do this often with the seasons. I think it's a quick win. It's fun to use different pieces of art. This is a Charles Dickens print. And the nativity that I've used, it's the only one I've ever had actually. I got it at a garage sale for $2. And I knew at the time that I didn't care for the paint colors on the figurines. It looked kind of cheap. And so I went home and right away spray painted it with my favorite creamy spray paint, and that's it. I have loved this as long as I've had it. I've had it for 20 years or so. And then I had just a touch of dried flowers. I was going to do a bunch more, and I did dry more, but Nala ate them. So that's that. I pulled out my pom-pom trim pillows. I think white pom-poms are so good for snow. It looks like snow to me. So we have ice skates and pom-poms and things that subtly remind you of a winter without being a big sign that says Merry Christmas. It's blinking. I love that. I love just a subtle, elegant touch with each of the seasons. Like there's some things that are obvious, but for the soul that's more sensitive to their surroundings, like they are the ones that would pick up on these other things. I got these big chalkboards handed down to me, and then I printed these. They're called patent drawings. I have a sleigh and I have a tree. I got these free. I'm just gonna tape them all over these chalkboards to give it a layered look. I made this pom-pom garland. I tried it over my art prints. I treat my piano like a mantle. That's what helps me as I'm decorating it. And I have done the pom-poms like that before, but I decided to lay them flat along the top of the piano and just do a collection of my different trees, different stories to go with each of these trees. But I am trying to make it asymmetrical, so the main vignette is off to the left side. And yeah, I like how that is going. Looks like the dogs are deciding they like the window seat. One of the things that I love to do under a Christmas tree is add just a couple of vintage toys. I mean, I don't think it takes much. This year I'm going to do a dollhouse that my son made when he was 8 years old, and it's still holding on. And then I'm gonna add my mother's doll. I put this under the tree last year and it was the perfect solution. I don't really necessarily like dolls around me all day long in my house, but it's a good solution for something special like this to incorporate it into your Christmas decorating. This doll, her name is Virginia, and here, let's show you how cute she is. So I lost my mom 2 years ago, and this doll was given to her when she was 2 years old. So my grandfather was in World War II, and she was born when he was gone, and then so he never met her. For the first 2 years, he didn't know who she was, or they didn't have a relationship. And then when he came home, he gave her this doll, and it was a dolly for his dolly. And she's, I don't know what she's made out of, plaster or something, but clearly my grandmother was protective of this doll because she would be destroyed, but we still have her. So this color is a little bit not what I'm going for. So my friend Kristen Hoffman, when I was at her house, I was telling her about this doll and that I wished I had a long-sleeved white dress so she could go better with the colors at Christmas. And she goes, oh, I have one. And she gave this to me. So I'm trying it on right now. It's not an antique dress, but it might be vintage. Did you hear that? There's a broken crier in there. Oh my gosh, it does fit. I'm gonna have to send Kristen a picture. All right, so I did take those lights off. It took me about 45 minutes to take them all off. I felt bad because I had made Colby go to Home Depot to get more, but it was the right thing to do. I find that anytime I do a big home tour or redo a room or something, I plan on backtracking about 4 times on something. Buying a new paint color, taking down Christmas lights, something. But it's just necessary to make it finished looking. So I ended up leaving a cage of birds by the Christmas tree, and then my mom's doll. And then the dollhouse, actually, I was feeling like it was too big, and I was kind of afraid that the dog would get into it, so I put that on the coffee table. Then for the tree, so I printed off these little banners, Merry Christmas banners. I made them on Canva and printed them on vellum. And I like how the light kind of shines through them. And then I have these little woodland animal ornaments that I made last year. I just bought a set of them on Amazon and painted them, spray painted them gold, and then hot glued velvet ribbon onto their backs. And I really like them. It's so easy and inexpensive, but I really like them. And then this beaded garland I made in last week's video. Well, I made it look like mercury glass. And then these ornaments really are mercury glass. I painted them, and then when the paint was wet, I wiped off just a little bit. I just like the layering and look that gave me. Okay, so this dollhouse, I tell this story every year, I think, but my son made it when he was 8. He was homeschooling, and he put it in the fair. It took him like 6 months. He put it in the fair, and I thought he was going to win first place. And the darn judge wrote back. All she said was, you need to not show your glue strings, because he used a glue gun to put it together. And that's all she said. She didn't say one nice thing. So I showed you that crocheted blanket there. That, it's not a blanket actually, it's a tablecloth. Get those when you're out thrifting because those are so pretty. I love them year round, but especially at Christmas, I just think they look like snowflakes. So those are a good thing to have on hand. I kind of have this little like wish list of not obvious Christmas things, but things I like to collect to have during Christmas. Then I made those snowflakes out of lunch sacks in last week's video. And then I'm trying something new with crepe paper in the living room. It feels very British to me. And I just really, really like it. I definitely will be doing that again. And then, okay, one of my favorite things in the whole room is this tiny little swag I made with the velvet ribbon. Those were just scraps of faux cedar that I had. And I made a tiny little swag and hung it over the, am I saying that right? Is it a swag? I'm suddenly drawing a blank to what those things are called. I think it's a swag. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then, of course, the window seat. These curtains, they're not finished. I literally have them hanging or gathered back with rubber bands. I just wanted to see what it looked like, and I left it. But I do love them so much, and they just make that window seat so cozy. Okay, so here is the whole room you're looking at. I'm working my way through the house, putting a candle in each window, battery-operated candle. Last year, I really decorated this desk and tried to make it look like Santa's workshop in a real subtle way. And I didn't do anything this year for Christmas decorations in that corner, but it matches well enough. The piano music that is on the piano was my grandfather's. So it has some sentimental value. All right, let's head upstairs and take a peek at my room. I did some fun touches in here again. And just really a couple pieces that are the same as last year, but I kind of went a whole nother direction, which I love. I love how a design can take off like that and do its own thing each year. So it's a big room. We always get compliments when people are touring the house. Like, wow, it's because it used to be 2 rooms. In fact, there's 3 closets in the room because of that. And so one of the closets I turned into my office. And Colby has offered several times to, we'll do something else and get you a bigger office. But I really don't care. I think it's so cozy and cute, and I'm fine. I really am. I'm fine. All right, these pillows. Can we talk about these pillows? Thrifted fabric. And I made the pillows. But I love the red so much. It's really thick, nice fabric, and I love it so much. I'm going to take these pillows apart and I'm going to make 4 out of them. I'm going to use the backs as the fronts so I can get 2 more out of them because I love these pillows more and more. They look very vintage to me, very actually antique. I feel like they work really well. And then I just did a few touches on the nightstands. It doesn't take much. I mean, really could even just put a candle down. Okay, this mercury glass garland, it doesn't look heavy, but it's super heavy, and those are legit glass ornaments. So the first night that I tried this look, all I did was tape them, which was stupid because in the middle of the night, they crashed to the floor, and I had a near heart attack, and so did Colby, and they shattered. I broke 4 of them. Oh, that is not the first time I've been woken in the middle of the night from my decorations crashing to the floor. So they're actually tied on. I'm still a little leery because they're glass, but so far so good. And then I love a little Christmas tree and a champagne bucket. That is like a go-to for me. And then of course we still have this is our larger tinsel tree in here. And I like the tinsel trees because they're vintagey, but they kind of feel like they have lights on them, like they're kind of sparkly. And so it works I feel like you don't have to do Christmas lights on them. And then I just put all of my red and green books together. This room actually came together really quickly. I knew I wanted to do the tinsel trees and those red pillows, and then I just started adding in pops of green and the books, and it was really fast. It's nice when that happens, comes together quickly. I want to show you these sleigh bells. They sound amazing. I got them from my in-laws' cabin, and they're real sleigh bells. I love having them somewhere every Christmas for that sound. So this is the downstairs. It has a very layered look. I love how it kind of draws you throughout the space. It's just interesting things that kind of pique the viewer's curiosity and draws you into the next space. And I need to show you the fireside room next. So the fireside room is the room between the kitchen and the living room. It's where a wood stove is kept, and of course that's where our stockings are hanging. And it's a glorified hallway, is what it is. It's fun to decorate every Christmas. I got the garland on the stair rail. I paid $4 for that at Value Village, I think. And I actually really like how subtle it is. Just a little touch there in the room. A lot of times I'll just really deck out the banister because it just feels like you have to. And I didn't feel like I needed to do that this year, especially with 3 trees pretty close to each other and decorated differently and stuff. So that little $4 garland was just what I needed. Then I have this beautiful piece of artwork, this sketch here in a wreath frame, and added stockings. I kind of was just haphazard with the stockings. I wanted them to look really natural. So I normally really fuss with them, but I didn't this year. I just kind of piled them all on. We added these knobs along the stair rail to hang the stockings every year. I think the stockings will look even better when I add little gifts and things to them soon. So I'll share that with you later too. Little tree in here. This is, I'm gonna call it my childhood tree. There's things from Colby and myself that are on here. Some very sentimental pieces, some things from my mother, and I made these little books that are little replicas of my favorite books. And this little wreath pin, this is a pin that my mother would wear every Christmas. So this is a very sentimental tree, and it's sitting in a basket. I just found the basket at a thrift store for $4, I believe, and it had a fabric liner in it that I didn't like, so I just ripped that out. And I thought for $4, that's a really great piece for a tree to go in instead of a tree collar, which is $20, $30, $40 at least. Then on the bookshelves, I always have fun with that spot each season, but just real simple. I used my red transferware. I don't have a ton. I do have a teacup and a saucer out on the porch though, but that's the extent of my transferware, and then just little cedar boughs. So moving into the kitchen area, I kind of got tired at this point, and we have a lot of changes we're making in the kitchen, and so my mind just wants to decorate the new look, and it wasn't as inspired with what I'm dealing with right now. But there's my boxwood wreath. You can see how it's aging, or how it's drying out a little bit, and what that looks like. It's kind of ruffly looking, and then the saturation in the leaf color changes. So this is my little tinsel tree in here. I have hanging candles, and these are all thrifted vintage ornaments. I love my kitchen to look really French at Christmas time. So that's gonna mean bringing in reds and baking and ticking stripes and silver, tarnished silver pieces, and that makes it look really French. So I hope you enjoyed. It was a lot of fun in putting together, and I'll share one more tour video coming up right before Christmas that'll have some more things in it for you. But until then, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and I will be working on that video for you coming up. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.